Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids. Independent. Existentialism. Modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen Existentialists. Welcome into the Gen Existentialist podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we are here to expound upon many topics. Things that you've never heard of, things you've never thought of, things that when you hear the question, you'll just go, what? We will spin Mega Wheel of Magnificent.
Give her a spin.
And it's just, man, just looking at it. Mega Wheel. She's spinning. She's huge. Over 1,475 questions at this point?
Yeah. See, we're running low. We need you guys to send in some more. So drop us a line wherever you found this podcast. Let us know what's on your mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So our first question is this, and it's kind of a weird two-parter. Actually, I'm just going to give you the second half, but I'll read you the whole thing. Favorite gun to shoot? ? And then what fantasy gun would you like to shoot?
Oh, wow.
I want to keep it to that. What fantasy gun would you like to shoot?
What fantasy gun would I like to shoot? Wow. I'm going to think about that for a little bit. Most of the fantasy stuff I get into is more swords and sorcery based, so I have to really think on guns.
Well, I'm kind of going sci-fi fantasy. Let's insert sci-fi, because otherwise guns don't make sense.
Oof. Wow, I'm trying to think of some sci-fi that I've seen recently.
See, my immediate thought, I immediately went to one.
You want that Mandalorian gun that blows everybody up, right?
No, actually, I went even deeper.
Okay.
Even further back. I don't remember what the gun is called, but the main gun on the Yamato.
Oh, yeah, the wave motion gun.
The wave motion gun.
I guess that's considered a gun, isn't it?
Yeah, the wave motion gun on the Starship Yamato.
Yeah.
For anybody that doesn't know, we're talking about Star Blazers.
Yeah, known as Star Blazers in the U.S., even known as Battleship Yamato, the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Okay, I hate the piggyback, but that's a pretty damn cool gun.
Yeah, I mean, that's just pure awesome right there.
Take that, Deslock. So... Yeah, that's a strange one. Do you want to answer the first question, or are we skipping the first question?
No, we can do it. Favorite gun to shoot.
Okay, sure. I love your 44 Magnum.
Really?
Oh, my God. If you ever decide to sell that, please let me know. That's my favorite. I love a heavy gun.
Yeah.
I feel like I have much better aim and control with a heavy gun.
Yeah.
And I don't own a 44 currently, but I do love shooting a 45 pistol. I just like a nice chunky bullet and a nice chunky kickback. So that's me.
You can borrow it whenever you want.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, because especially with my eye, I haven't been shooting since I had that issue. So
I'll go wake up the neighbors with that one.
It's not that bad. It doesn't kick. I mean, it's just...
It's got a decent kick to it compared to the other guns I have, at least.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's fun.
So what do you like shooting?
That one is fun. And I don't have many. Honestly, this is going to sound really weak. I like a good pellet gun.
Sure.
Just for pure target shooting.
I'm plinking.
And just the ability to just be calm.
Yeah.
Hold and shoot.
Okay.
I don't need kick. I don't need a big round. I don't need any of that kind of stuff. And I don't hunt anymore. So just the act and the calmness and the stoicism required for just shooting a projectile.
Okay.
And so, like, I've got a little pellet gun out there that I've had since I was probably 7. And I love shooting that thing. Because on the handle, I love the rest for my thumb because it's got an actual arc that comes up that I can rest my thumb on, and it allows me to keep it very still.
All right.
So actually that one would be my favorite.
Nice.
Oddly enough. All right, let's give Mega Wheel the Magnificent another spin. And we're spinning. And we're spinning down. Oh, she's landing right side up.
Hey,
Kind of
congratulations.
cockeyed a little bit. There we go. Oh, God, this is a long one again. This is crazy. Would you rather erase all of your most embarrassing moments from everyone else's memories or erase them from your own memory?
Well, my most embarrassing moments are some of my best stories. I mean, really. I'd probably say erase them from everyone else's memory so that I can regale them with the stories of stupidity all over again. They're just like, oh, I remember that. They're like, what? So, yeah, I would say everybody else's memory.
Yeah, and cause everybody else to question everything, like in a Berenstain Bears way, because you're telling them about this, and they're going, I don't remember that, and you're saying I was there with you.
Yeah, that's right. What is wrong? You got mental problems?
Yeah, I'd have to go with the same thing, because I don't really want to forget anything that I've done.
Yeah.
But the opportunity to tell stories again to people, to have a new, fresh audience.
I've never done anything that embarrassing that I want to forget about it. I know some people have they've really screwed the pooch, like they threw up on people or something at an amusement park or something ridiculous like that, something that they're mortified about. I've never been that unfortunate. Most of my embarrassing stories are just me making a goof of myself, like slapstick, dumb stuff.
Yeah.
Or saying the wrong thing and getting declined from dates and stuff. So, yeah, it's no big deal.
And again, those are some of the best stories.
That's right.
The trips and falls that were unintentional. So we will give these have been pretty quick.
Yeah.
We're going to give Mega Wheel another spin here and
long
see what
questions
we can come up
and
with.
short answers.
And we have, come on. Okay. Internet in our life, personal opinion. And that's literally what this says. There's no question mark. It's just a statement.
Our life.
Internet in our life, personal opinion.
I think the internet, when it showed up at the beginning and it was mainly just a bunch of nerds and tech people on it, I think it was one of the most wonderful playlands I've ever seen. It was a huge innovation, and it made such a difference to the world. I mean, you would not have your Amazons and your Netflix and your YouTubes and all of your social media and that without the internet.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine living without the internet? Most of you out there listening can't. I mean, you wouldn't have us regaling you with dumb answers and Mega Wheel spinning around. But I will say I loved it more pre-2007. I think was my favorite, like the Wild West years of the 90s through the early 2000s were my favorite. You just don't get that anymore. There's too much censorship. There's too many people on it that really don't belong on it. I hate to be like that, but I think you should have a certain amount of an IQ to use certain tools. Yeah. And giving everybody on the planet the ability to throw their opinions and ideas and show their ass, basically, sometimes physically and sometimes figuratively. I think it's muddied the waters. It's such a mess out there right now, but it's something you can't escape.
For as much as the internet could have provided some form of equity to the world, our use of it has not, and I tend to agree. My personal opinion is the internet could be great, but we've really screwed the pooch on it. And one of the things I go back to is my grandfather, my dad's dad, when he retired from the police force, one of the things he occupied his time with was home computers. He had a Commodore VIC-20. He had a Commodore 64. He had a Commodore 128. And I followed right along with him. And I remember we would make programs out of the Commodore magazine. And it took like hours and hours and hours to type those things in line by line in BASIC. And we did the same thing, you and I, in Project Ascent.
Nerds.
Yeah, creating programs and stuff. Yeah. And I wish my grandfather had lived to see the internet, just to see that progression from like the early 80s of home computing to the late 90s when stuff was starting to spread and open up. And I loved it as a music fan. There used to be a website called CD Now.
Oh, yeah.
That had like imports and all kinds of stuff. And I used the hell out of that once I found it. And then one day I placed an order from CD Now, and it came from a company called Amazon.
Uh-oh.
And I was like, okay, what's this? And the next time I logged on, I went to cdnow.com, and it went to amazon.com. Nothing against Amazon. If you are a business person and you've got an idea and you push it and you can create something like that, good on you. You know, I don't hate Jeff Bezos. I don't hate Amazon. They've done something, they've perfected it, and they do it really well. I can't get mad at that. But it's one of those things, you saw things start to turn, and that was the first place I saw it start to turn, was in the business side of the internet.
Yeah.
And how prevalent that has become. And it's turned into very much, and I think this is kind of what you were alluding to, something we've talked about a lot, is the propaganda machine.
Yeah.
And social media. And those are the places where it has kind of taken that turn that I find really distasteful.
You know, I think about cable television. This is a kind of an aside, but do you remember when there used to be channels like TLC, the Learning Channel, and the Discovery Channel?
Yeah.
And they used to actually be about educational programming.
Yeah, and now
when they first started. And now it's like World War II Hitler shows, propaganda about, you know,
my
politics.
600-pound life.
Yeah, my 600-pound butt. You know, all these shows that have nothing to do. It's become like social media.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what the internet became so bloated with dummies.
Yeah. I mean, it's all garbage.
People that didn't have to learn how to use a computer, people that didn't have to learn how to program or type in any sort of URLs. It became phone-based and easy access and fast food, and now every dummy's on it.
Yeah.
Talking about their 600-pound butt.
And as much as you can have access to the good stuff, like access to information, there is so much disinformation and misinformation out there too.
Sure.
That's slogging through it to find an actual reliable source.
It's
is
time
horrifying.
Yeah.
And so there are just a lot of problems. And before everybody thinks, oh, Scott's just on a soapbox shaking his fist at the clouds and yelling at the sky, and maybe there is some of that. You know, I feel old when I talk like this. I think for people our age, people are in Gen X, we saw what it could be, and we had those few years when the internet was new, and it was a bright green landscape of opportunity, and people were coming out with new great websites and videos and ways to edit stuff and ways to do cool things with the pages. And now it's just a bunch of billboards, shops, and propaganda, and people screaming into the void.
Tell you, kids, if you want to look up something really weird, if you're younger than us or even older than us and the internet wasn't your thing, look back in the late 90s. Look at the cyberpunk culture. Yeah. Boy, that was a thing, and that's something that it just shows you the excitement. And now it was a dystopian idea of the internet in the future. But it was this weird little subculture that happened, and then it's pretty much disappeared.
Yeah, go watch Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah, or go read Neuromancer.
Yeah,
there you go. That's a better one. So have fun with that, kid. Explore your past.
Explore the history of the internet with us here on the Gen Existentialists, won't you? Let's give Mega Wheel the Magnificent another spin. See what kind of interesting stuff she can come up with for us. And we're spinning and spinning. What are 2 places you want to go before you die?
The toilet. No, wow. 2 places I want to go before I die. I'll be brutally honest with you. I've had this discussion before. Once again, it comes back to, you're just depressed. Me. I have seen everything that I really wanted to see in my life, and I've done mainly everything that I've wanted to do. You know, it sounds boastful and stupid, but I'm a Capricorn, and I had goals, baby, when I was little. And that's all my life has been, working toward goals, and I've achieved my goals. There's nothing out there in the world that I can think of that I'm desperate to go see. Like, I would be so regretful if I didn't see the Statue of Liberty before I died. I'd be so disappointed if I didn't see Tokyo before I died. It doesn't matter. I mean, if I see them, that's great. But, there's nothing out there that's really, I'm chomping at the bit to see. How about you?
No, I'm not letting you off the hook. That was a non-answer.
It certainly was a non-answer.
And it wasn't a bucket list question either. Just, what are 2 places you want to go to before you die?
Before you die, that's a bucket list.
It's not, though.
That's what the bucket is.
It doesn't say that you have to get there or you will feel terrible if you kick the bucket without seeing them.
Yeah, okay.
Just 2 places. It can be Grater's Ice Cream, and it can be Great American Ballpark. It can be whatever you want. Just 2 places you want to go.
2 places I want to go before I croak.
Yeah.
I would like to see Omega Mart in Vegas.
Perfect.
Las Vegas.
Perfect.
I would like to see, I don't know, I'd like to see some of the castles in Scotland.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but if I don't see either one of those, I'm not going to be crying on my deathbed. Oh no, Omega Mart. Yeah, I don't really care. So sorry. That's the most Gen X answer I can give you on that one. Unfortunately, it's like, it doesn't matter. It's all good.
No, I mean, that's good.
So how about you before you die? Not
one
the bucket.
One of the first things I was going to say, and you said Omega Mart, which is part of the Meow Wolf stuff.
Yeah.
I want to go back to Meow Wolf in Santa Fe and go to each of the different installations, locations. I guess there are 3 now, and they've got a 4th planned.
Yeah, they got one planned in LA, I think.
Yeah, so I want to go to all of those, and I count those as one. But I also want to go to Wales.
All right.
Just, you picked Scotland, I picked Wales. I just basically,
I'll drop you off on the way.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be perfect. I want to go to the UK. I want to but I want to be able to spend weeks there.
Oh,
I don't want to just go see a couple things and fly home. I want the full immersion. Just like if I went to Japan, I wouldn't want to go just for a couple days. I would want like months to just like get a small apartment and be there.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, because vacations are vacations. You have the experience and you go, but that's another reason I want to retire early, to be able to just like do stuff like that and be gone for a little while.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So we will give Mega Wheel of Magnificent another spin, see what kind of interesting thing we can come up with on the tail of that. Yeah, see, bucket list, for some reason I consider that like I have to.
Oh, okay.
I have to do this before I croak.
I have to repent my sins on my deathbed. It's in the bucket list.
The only sin is to repent willingly.
Oh, okay.
Keep that in mind.
That's very edgy.
Somebody else, I think, alluded to that concept, and I used it in a set of lyrics years ago. Anyway, off topic. Our next question is, sometimes we all want to indulge the desires of our inner child. What does your inner child crave?
My inner child craves the Galloping Ghost Arcade in Chicago, Illinois.
Awesome.
It is almost an entire block size now arcade with like close to 1,000 stand-up arcade machines. Nice. I'm sure the place is a cacophony. It's probably hot as an oven. Never been. Always fantasize about it. It's just a hop, skip, and a jump down the road. I mean, really, and Chicago's not that far. But it's one of those things, I want to experience it with people that would enjoy it with me. I don't want to just go by myself and stumble around in the dark and play video games all day. But it's like $20 to play games that you haven't seen since you were a child. Games you never got to see because you didn't live on the West Coast or whatever. Yeah. So my inner child is a huge idiot. and he loves him some arcade games. That's one of the few times I have sheer bliss in me, is when I'm in an arcade just dicking around. So that's what my inner child craves, and I need to feed it. How about you?
We should book a trip.
Let's
get a few
feed
other people together and like
rent
a van or something and just go up to Chicago for the weekend and play video games.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, my inner child craves peace. My inner child craves
piece of pizza.
Just peace and the ability to just sit and create.
Okay.
Whether it's just me in a notebook, me in a bass, just some peaceful time where I can just be and create. That's all my inner child ever wanted.
Get Scott a set of finger paints for Christmas.
that would work too.
Sit in your room, play with your finger paints.
Let's see if we can get one more quick one here out of Mega Wheel of Magnificent on this episode. And she's spinning, and she's spinning. And should people care more about doing the right thing or doing things right? That's a tough one, actually.
Yeah, I mean, I think most of the time when you're doing the right thing, it is right. I mean, you're doing it correctly.
Yeah.
I know there are some gray areas there. I know that you get into the whole, if you're stealing because you're hungry or you're stealing because you want to steal, those kind of dumb hypotheticals. But I think ultimately, you should do the right thing. Yeah. Not to go all Spike Lee on you. He's a terrible filmmaker. I'm sorry. But do the right thing. There you go.
See, I'm going to say doing things right. Because I separate the activity of doing. I think that doing the right thing is more of a moral, it's a personal ethics kind of thing. And so as long as you're doing things right, I think you're probably going to be doing the right thing.
Okay.
So just kind of a twist on what you said, going the other way with the wording. Anything that you do is worth doing well. And even if somebody's pushing you, like, we need this done now, we need this project done now, don't let that kind of noise dissuade you from taking the time to do something right. If whoever you're working for or with doesn't like it and they fire you for it, at least you walk out with your integrity because you did things as well as they could possibly be done. Don't half-ass shit. That is one of my pet peeves. Regardless of the time it takes, don't half-ass it.
He's a whole ass kind of guy.
Yeah. If you're going to do ass, do the whole ass. That's what we say here on the Gen Existentialists.
Yeah, all right.
And on that note, we will leave you. If you would like to get in touch with us, leave us a message or a note wherever you are listening to this.
Don't half-ass it.
Yeah, the carrier pigeons, they'll get it to us. The carrier pigeons don't half-ass it when they're bringing us notes. Until next time, my name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we'll catch you then. Have a good one.
Bye.